Alrighty, well it is end of month team trading. It's Wednesday the 31st of October, so I understand that some people will not be on because they'll be hustling still and trying to get some last bits done for end of month. I'm just going to start off. I'm just going to get you guys to watch. If you've watched it before, watch it again. Like I can honestly keep watching it. It's only a mini little clip. It's really something you need to share with your team, especially if they're having trouble posting and not understanding the difference between sharing their story and conviction, I guess, between the product and the program. So it's really kind of cool. So I'm just going to share that. Where is it? There. All right, hopefully this works okay. Can you guys see that okay?
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out control-powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight? The Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, when you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Nah. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better. And we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't the other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal?
All right, I'm going to stop it there. It's in the team page if you guys want to watch that further. But I wanted to stop it at the why because we're all working on that why in our story, of course. But you know, how good is that circle? It really makes you really think about how you're sharing your story and, you know, not sort of, you know, I know for a lot of new people that's really, really hard, and to try and get it sunk into them that you've really got to share your journey, because that gets into that, you know, that limbic, that inside part of the brain, which is the loyalty, which is the trust, which is all those things that then they, you know, work out the what later on. So it's a really cool thing. So it's in the team page if you want to watch it again and really think about that. But yeah, obviously we've been away for Game Plan. Quite a few of us, or some of us, have watched it, you know, via the tally screen. We've all got it to watch recorded for a month too, which is great. You know, because, you know, there's only so much you can take in when you're there. Which is, yeah, so it's great that we've still got that to utilise for those events. But for those that didn't go, obviously we had 3 days of conferencing for me and Jay. For Stacey had another day as well, which was great. And, you know, something for definitely to be putting on your vision board. It keeps changing and growing each and every year. But yeah, well, we've written down so many notes that we got from the 2 days prior, let alone game plan, and lots of things we want to bring back and slowly go through with you guys, which is pretty cool. So back to the why part. I think I said in the message tonight, you guys needed to bring pen and paper. So hopefully you've already drawn that circle and you're already thinking about that, which is great. But what I want you to write down is, why do you deserve to be here right now? Why do you deserve to be in this business, creating this opportunity and your lifestyle? I want you to write down why it is you think you deserve to be here. Cool. All right, and you can go back to that later because it is a bit of a hard question, but it's just something just to get on pen on paper, you know, because sometimes, you know, we're always, you know, a little bit lost and fighting that. We're not enough, we're not worthy, and so forth. We've got an amazing gift, this opportunity. So it's just, you know, sometimes we do, like I was speaking to Stacey before we started this, you know, some people are still on the fence because they're not quite ready for it. You've got to be ready for anything in your life. If you're not ready for it, you're not going to grow with it. It's manifesting, which is something we went through a bit through last night also. So definitely slot that down. So then what I want to do, I'm just going to do a little drawing on the board. And this is something I think, you know, I don't know if Jay had seen this before, but I hadn't either. And it definitely, I always call this a roller coaster, this opportunity that we're doing. But I think a lot of people come in and they just assume with this opportunity and growing their business, because we all know some people come in, they just want their product cheaper. They just want to help a few people, or they just want to create a little bit of extra cash to get their hair cut or whatever. But some people do come in, they see the bigger picture really quickly, and they assume that is going to be the growth of their business. All right? I think that's most case in a lot of businesses, also in traditional business. But literally what our business is more like this. All right, so even as an NMD, all right, this still happens to NMDs as well, yeah? All right, so as soon as, you know, something in your life might happen too, and you might be manifesting and working more on health at one stage, or on your family, or different things, you know, you will notice that your business will have peaks and troughs, because you can't manifest other people's ambitions and plans with this business also, and expectations for people when they come into this can either be, you know, I'm happy just to plod along, and they're assuming that it's just going to be like that, or they're, you know, assuming it's going to be something like this. So it's really understanding that no matter where you are in this business, you know, you're brand new, or you're months in, or you're years in, you've got to realize that it's more like this, and you've got to reward yourself, whether it's good or not so great. Okay, so something, you know, that Fraser did quite a bit of, you know, whether it's a good outcome or a good outcome, is you do a dance. And it was literally like really, really daggy, and something we've been doing a lot of since. So you just really got to, like we always say, you've got to love the nose, but you also got to love those peaks and troughs, because understand, without those peaks and troughs in your business, you're not going to grow. All right, so definitely something just to keep in mind, something that I wrote down. And then obviously, you know, it helps you be realistic with your goals and understanding it, you know, so you don't knock yourself. We set goals every month, so we've got somewhere, you know, that we're aiming to get to and to achieve. Otherwise, you've got nowhere to push yourself to, you know, challenge yourself to. And, you know, and when you do think about your goals, when you're setting them with your leader, make sure they're goals that you're ready for. All right, because if you don't believe and you're not ready for those, then you're not manifesting you're going to achieve those, therefore they're not going to happen. So when you set your goals this month coming up, make sure you're thinking about what it is that you know that you can achieve, what you believe you can achieve, what you're going to manifest each day to create and make sure it happens. So put that there. Where's my little list of what we're doing? So it's something I really wanted to, just show really quickly, because for me, this, you know, really, I always thought of it as a roller coaster, but then when I was listening to a few stories, like Lee was at our leadership day on the second day, which Stacey remember this, and Lee started a few months before me. She's NMD now, but she found a message on her phone, or a note saying what she wanted to be by the 1st of December of this year. And lo and behold, that's actually just happening now, and she actually signs her new lease on the 1st of December. So not her on this message, it said that she'd have be traveling to Japan, her and her boys, for her and her kids for a family holiday. She'd be in a new place and something else. But she booked her holiday to Japan, which was $6,000. She had it in the savings account. And then the next day she got a phone call from Centrelink for the New Zealand guys, that's WINZ, saying she had a debt of $6,000. Which, so that was crazy, blew out. But then she's obviously manifested, she's grown her business, she's covered that bill and what forth. She's then being kicked out, told she needs to move out of her apartment, and she needs to find somewhere else to live because they're selling it. And then, an apartment's come up, it's perfect, it's 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, all of the things she wants, and she can move in on the 1st of December. And she found this note, and it had the date of game plan last year, and she's done it. So manifested that, she's put it out into the world, she's, got it there in front of her, she's been working towards that, and she's created. So don't knock, those goals and popping them down on paper and really going for them. Beautiful. Cool. Another big thing I think I got from when we were away was excuses. And one big thing we did with Kira was all around money, which was amazing. So Kira, a big part of her goals and building her business was she had a really bad story around money. So next I'm going to ask you a few questions around money and see if you can plug out some areas that might be, preventing you from growing your business. So some dirty money stories that are in the back of your mind that keep, reining you back from what it is you want, next level in your business. So again, have your pens and paper ready. I've got mine ready to go. I've already done one. Whoop, that's not the right page. Where have I put them? Wrong book. Yeah, here it is. On the page, ready to go. All right, so I don't want you to think about it too hard, okay? I'm going to actually bring you up on gallery view so the people that have got their faces on there, I can see you when you're doing this. So just the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? So money is, all right? Just pop down 1 or 2 words what money is to you. All right, is it dirty? Is it ugly? Is it hard? Is it nil? Is it, is it abundance? Is it whatever it is in your life? Next one is money is not. Next one is, I'm going to try and go relatively fast because I want you to try and punch those answers out. Money will never replace. Money will always be. Not having enough money is. Having enough money means. Being rich is. Being wealthy is. Similar, but hopefully you're finding other words or whatever to go in there. Why can't I see that? Being really, really rich is. I want money for. What is going on with Facebook? I can't even see my writing. What's going on there? I want an abundance of money for. Lots of, very similar, I know. I need to let go of. All I need to do is. Cool. All right. So that's that. So that's gone through. Like some of those I know seem very, very similar, but it just makes you keep opening your mind more and more around money. So like for Kira, she shared a story how, money was really, really hard for them when, she was a child, and with her mum working as much as she possibly can for her and the kids. And she'd go around to her brother's house and the kids would go to the freezer after dinner and there'd be like 30 varieties of these beautiful ice cream for her for the kids to pick out. And, her mum would always be embarrassed and so forth. So, and say, I don't know, it just really built a really negative thing for her around money. So now I want you to think about anything that, might have came up in the years or even currently, quotes or little lines that you remember your parents or other people around you saying, money doesn't grow on trees, and all these sort of things that may come up. So jot them down as well. And then think of those, I want you to go now back to that list as well and go back and see how you can reverse that. So if for instance, money was dirty for you or money was scarce or whatever, I want you now to go back and put, the positive to that. So the opposite, the polar opposite, I should say. So, money is, opportunities. Money is me saying yes to more. Money is me being able to add more value. When you get a chance, go through a few of those now so you remember to go back and do these later. And so something I put in there that came up was money was always needed. Both my parents worked full time. I remember me and my sister riding to school really early, compared to my kids. I'm still saying, hell no, you're not riding to school. And coming home and still not seeing mum and dad until after 5:30, dad later. Dad would leave before we wake up in the morning. And it still felt like mum and dad were constantly forever chasing their tails. And that set same dinner, every week. And why that was, and and holidays or lack of. And also another thing, my parents never put too many expectations on me. They never pushed me. They never helped me to dream or to think bigger or to make me feel that I was capable. They didn't make me feel like I was dumb either, but because they were in that situation where they never thought that they would get past that normal 9 to 5 drain. This is how life was, and that's how they shared that onto me, I guess. So just something there just to work on. For some people, they don't have money, bad money vibes in their life, and they don't see that as something that holds them back. But for me, it was a really cool tool just to play around with. And it might just shine some light on some blind spots that you weren't really thinking about before. Beautiful. And so after that, obviously, once obviously we're working on our why, guys. And for a lot of you, it might be to reduce your hours, to say yes to more, and all those sort of things, to really come about that, and you might start your vision board. I always say how cool your vision boards are, to really, really have a go at doing your vision boards. Really manifest the crap out of it. Like if you want a new car, go and test drive that car. Know the price, pick the color. If you're manifesting a new home, whether it's renting or buying it, go to display homes, go to rental homes, have a look at those things. If you want to renovate, go and find the prices to the taps you want, the bath you want, the shower you want. Really manifest it. And so because if something I watched this morning or last night, this guy wanted a partner, but, once he was asked the questions, what does your ultimate soul partner look like? He couldn't answer it. Therefore, he couldn't manifest it, and he wasn't doing it daily. He could manifest small things daily, like small, easy tasks, but he could not manifest that. On the Hunt for Your NMD song, I love it. Mine keeps changing. Mine's still really old. I'll play it for you guys at the end, but it's really old school, and I don't think I'm going to use it now. Really manifesting all that. And so you need to know absolutely everything, how much it's going to cost. Like I said, the colors, you need to be able to see it, taste it, feel it. And then each day, Just like for some people it's about the universe, some people it's about God, some people it's about whatever. You need to have a belief in something that's going to help you create and manifest that really, really big. So I'm doing a lot of audio stuff at the moment around that to really help with that, and hopefully that'll help me, you know, create that and build that a little bit further. So after I did that money thing and I started really, you know, figuring out my why again and building on that manifesting, I really dug more deep into how I want to add, you know, help people. You know, obviously I've got my why, my small little goals, but who is it I can really get out and help, and specifically what is it I'm going to help them with. So that also helps with my manifesting. So just being super, super specific. And then if you don't get to work on these and manifesting these, you know, what's going to be the cost if you don't? You know how, you know, we quite often say if your why doesn't make you cry, it isn't strong enough. And I totally actually agree with that. Like, I'm really like digging in deep now, but I think if I'm manifesting it the right way, it probably won't make me cry, but you just got to really do it. If I don't do this, if I don't keep, you know, that momentum going and keep growing, what's that cost going to be to me? You know, I'd have to go back to work. No time for me. That was my biggest thing when I went back to work, is I was so run down. I wasn't taking care of me. Therefore, I wasn't taking care of my family. I couldn't manifest. I couldn't dream. I didn't have goals. I just did the 9 to 5 and was the sickest I had ever been. What else to have there? No time for my boys. So that was a massive struggle. Once I had more than one child, I could not give them that special time. So I wasn't building the relationships up that I wanted. No time for preparing good meals, you know, and lots of time for bullshit stories. Yeah, that's for sure. And I'd have to work longer before I could retire, and what was I going to retire with? You know, really break down what is it you're not going to have if you don't grow this, if you don't have a go. And something else that I really got out of the weekend was, I don't think of it as a business. Yeah, I go to work every day on the business, but I honestly don't think of it as a business. It is a gift to me and a gift to whoever it is that I'm able to share this with. So, you know, and then you just got to ask yourself good questions every day. So when you get caught in that trap of that bullshit stories that keep coming up, I don't have time, my kids are, are around me all the time, or I've got this, or I've got to, you know, do work for the hubby, or I've got to work, come back to yourself with good questions. All right, to yourself. We all know we need to be the master asker and have good questions for new team and for our new clients and people we're, you know, newly communicating with. So you need to have good questions for yourself as well. Questions like, what can I do to increase my income? All right, so this month, it's month end. So, you know, what can you do tonight? You know, there's probably a couple of people still in your messages that you could quickly follow up with and see where they're at. But you know, we're coming into a new month as well. So what can I do to increase my income? Obviously talk to your upline, see where you're at, see where you can be and how to get there. But these are what you're asking yourself. And this might not necessarily be the business. So how, you know, it's also being money smart, yeah? So budgeting, you know, pre-preparing your list of what you're going to be cooking for the week, especially if you're doing the shred. So when you go into the shops, you're actually getting what you want and not just chucking everything in the trolley and losing money out where you don't need it to go. How can I serve more people? That's a really cool question. You know, I can't serve more people if I'm just at home hiding on social media. Yes, this is a great tool for me to grow a business online from home on my own terms, but you want to get out and talk to people as well. How can I be of more value? All right, so when you are going into groups, into pages, when you are meeting people, don't go in there and just be hunting and be just worried about advertising all the time. You want to work on meeting people, asking good questions. Charlotte did one the other day and it was amazing. She did the kale chips and something else. And she got such a great response from it. I loved it. So just by adding value in groups and pages and things like that, whether it's sharing a recipe, asking good questions. Remember, like I said a few months or so back, it's Christmas. You know, what do people get? Ideas for Christmas presents, ideas for extra income, because Christmas holidays come around, we're still getting paid the same amount of money, but we've got kids home now, so we've got no money to pay for those activities. So ask good questions. How can I save? How can I get an extra income? You know, ask those good questions. Am I listening to the right people? Maybe not a good question to ask on here. So make sure you're getting on Monday night trainings. Make sure you're watching those lives back if you're missing lives. I love that Adam and Kira have brought back their event, because we've been nagging them to do so. And because that's an event you can get on, and there's going to be 200 plus people on that event every night. We know as we're building our events that sometimes it's just a few of us on there. Sometimes we get 14 or 30, but to get on an event where there's 30 people online watching it, that's going to make people really check it out. And they're changing the format a bit, so I'm pretty excited to see how they go with that. And how can I improve my financial literacy? So that's just your understanding on, you know, we've got an amazing virtual office, how to make sure you're utilizing that properly, how to, you know, where you're putting your money, that you're not just throwing it away, make sure you're investing some back in your business. So it's just getting financially savvy around what you're creating and how that's, you know, eventually going to, but again, you ask these questions to yourself, so it could mean something totally different to yourself. Where do I want to be financially in 1 year from now? We do a lot of this on your goal chatting, so that's also another great question to have there. So they're just some questions there, yeah, to help yourself each day, and obviously, and then it's just figuring out. We can have our goals, we can manifest and whatever, but what's going to help you energize you and keep you going forward and growing your business each day. And we get caught in those ruts when we're super tired. The kids have kept us up all night. We've worked a massive hours at our job. So you need to find what works for you. So definitely look at those audios on manifesting that, or on so something I'll share with you guys too, which a few of you know, especially Viv and Stace. And Magda, I got so run down being away because I am an introvert. So for me to turn on that extrovert and be able to go to conference after conference, day after day, or to go to events, that's huge. Even for me just to go away is huge and leave my little bubble where my family is, where my safe zone is. It just draws the energy out of me. So if you are an introvert like me and you need work around that, you're scared of talking to new people, or you're scared of going to events or anything like that, make sure you do some work on it. And if you need work on that, just ask me. Before I get on every call, I'm clapping. I heard I was doing my clap before I got on with you guys tonight. Yeah, I'm still there. And he's like, what are you doing? You wake the kids up. I said, I've got to do it. It's silly time. And you know what? And Fraser shared this, didn't he, Viv, when we were away? And he does the clapping as well, and he does his dancing. But he was at the airport and he was about to do a live, and he needed to do his clap, and he couldn't do it in the middle of the airport because he would have got arrested. People would have been, what are you doing? Like, you're causing a problem. So he went into the toilet and he's clapping the shit out of his hands, and he's come out. And when he displayed this on the stage to us each time, he fully looked like he was playing with himself. But he's literally just clapping and getting his extrovert on. And for me, yeah, that takes a lot of, so each morning I got up and I did the walk and did a run just to get myself going, or I listened to my music. But I can only do that for so long. It takes a lot of energy to do so. So come, what was it, the third day? Yeah, the third day. It was after the 90 days. I was so sick. My head felt like, well, not sick, just drained. And my head felt like it was going to explode. I came back to the room and slept for 2.5 hours before going out again and having to turn my introvert on. So, yeah, so it doesn't matter if you're shy, if you don't think you can do it and whatever. There's so many tools for you to figure out and to grow through that, which is pretty amazing. Look, there's lots of beautiful things. I do love Fraser, and just recently, I know I can't remember which training it was on, but you know, find someone externally from Juice Plus, you know, out there, like the Fraser Brooks, like the Simon Chans, and all of those. That works for you. For me, it's Fraser because he's awkward. He is actually an introvert. He's not a stunner, so I'm not comparing myself to him on the stage. He's just fun. He knows his stuff, and what he's done, like, you know, I remember one girl, she just did this 3 or 4 times throughout the 3 days, asked the stupidest questions. What if you don't have a sob story? You don't, yeah, I can see it, Stace. You don't need a sob story to do this business. He came from an MLM family. And, you know, and he's sold off his MLM now. He just walks around talking around the country about social media, how to have fun with it, how to do lives, how to get more people, you know, interacting with you. And when do you delete people? I don't know. I'll have a look at that in a second, your questions. Why is my Zoom's all over the shop now? I don't know where things are. So it was really, really cool. Oh, why can't I get that over there? I want it over there. So he, for me, he has been for quite some time, is the person. I know Adam's about to get another coach. So he's done some Eric Warray, he's done some Simon Chan, he's done Fraser. Now he's going to another bigger and masterful coach, I believe. And, you know, and it's something that we did, me and Stace did, and Jay did. We did this awesome thing with him with the balloon. And, you know, and actually now since I've been home, I actually looked up this word, which is ego, which means, you know, self-worth actually. But, you know, we had to blow up a balloon to the size of our head, which we struggled with. We're like, is this the right size? Is this the right size? And then every time we got a new customer or a new team, you had to blow air in it. So that's your ego and your self-worth getting bigger and bigger. And what happens if you keep blowing that up? It popped. So it was a really, really cool exercise to do. So you have to come back to gratitude and you have to come back to balance. So that's like the extrovert. If any of you are extroverts, for the extroverts, you've always got to plane it back down because you'll scare off all the introverts. You know, and it's just the same with us with Juice Plus. Yeah, we know it's friggin' amazing. We know it's going to be even more amazing over the next few months when we go fully gluten-free. But if you throw that onto people, it's going to be too much too quickly. You've gone straight to the what instead of the why. So so there are just a few things I wanted to bring up from, and I've got heaps more topics to cover between me and Jay over the next few weeks. But I'm going to go back to having a look at your questions, and anyone that does have anything that they, you know, the girls that went or watched Game Plan, I'd love you to come off mute and share some of the stuff you got from Game Plan. And because I know for a lot of you, you know, being with people you don't know, and this is, you know, when you go away for conference and Game Plan, we want more and more people to get there. So, you know, if it means 30 people jammed into a 3-bedroom apartment, then we sort of make that happen. And, you know, meeting people that you don't know, figuring out where everything is. Like there was so many activities going on over the 3 days. It was very hard to keep track of. But I'd love for a few of you to, take yourselves off mute and I'll have a look at Viv's questions. His walk. When do you delete people? That was the question, Fraser. He said block. What are you talking about? Viv, take yourself off mute.
That was just one of the questions that was asked when you said about the sob story. That was one of the questions he was asked.
Phrases is actually that.
And then he said block.
So the skeptics, like, because he could, you know, and you should be able to that too. Remember how, don't try and convince people. Like, stuff them. If they don't get it, see you later, and make sure you friend them beforehand. Make sure I make sure I friend everyone before I send them a video. Okay, so they've got to watch my journey now, unless they delete me or block me. So Fraser does. He just blocks them and says, "Yeah, fuck off, whatever. You don't get it. See you later," which is great. So you know, I know a few of you watched it from home. Stace, Magda, Peter. I'm sure you've all got some. What about you, Viv? Share some, you know, some of your gold nuggets you got from being away. It was a massive trip for you, hun.
Meeting new people, I think I had a bit of an anxiety about meeting different people that I hadn't met. Not knowing what I was going into, I guess.
Expectations.
I guess my expectation was pretty high, but my aha moment was probably Linda, who I was beelining from who I wanted to really meet, and just listening to her. She just stood out there. She just glowed. She was just, I don't know. She just was just like an angel to me, to my eyes, in my own eyes. She just glowed and she flowed. She just walked that stage like she owned it, you know. And then when her and her husband were standing up there, I thought about it and I thought, yeah, that was what I want, and that was my moment. And also the greatest showman song. What was that one?
Yeah.
That song really got me in the end.
Yeah, it's in the team page. So there's two versions. I'd love for you guys to watch it. One is just obviously the normal song version, but I'd love for you to all watch the version of them when they're putting it all together, because that lead singer, it kills her when she sings it. She just goes, oh shit, this is me. This is who I am. And, you know, her tough story was coming out in her trying to write song. So that's right. I know. And I've got that on that's one of my morning rituals, is that song at the moment. So and with Linda, so, you know, she works, you know, endlessly with Tony Robbins. Like she is. So you could talk to people around Australia and New Zealand without talking about Juice Plus, and people know who Linda is. Okay, so we are very lucky that she's the one that brought it to Australia and New Zealand for us. All right, and she must be getting close to 1,000 club if Adam's 500. So obviously Adam is her golden child, as we all seem to have one or two of those golden childs. But she is the dream keeper. She is all grace and soul, and she's
flawless.
Yeah, she's absolutely. But you know what she did? So a couple of other team NMDs have shared this. She burnt out about a year ago, and she had to step away. So again, remember that roller coaster, all right? And, you know, make sure you're pouring into yourself so you can pour into others, because it does happen. And lucky for them, they got into that position where James could also join the business too. So he shares a lot of the load now in what they're creating and what they want to do. But she is amazing. And she hasn't just had training with Tony Robbins. She is forever doing more and more coaching with more and more people, Fraser being one. She's done much with Eric Worre. She's done so much, and she's done a bit at India, like Kira did. She's freaking amazing. She's someone that, you definitely want to always look up to. But you've got to find other people, non-Juice Plus too, like I said, that you want to look up to, the people that you want to be around constantly to keep bringing you up to be the best version of you. So that's awesome, Viv, and thank you for sharing. So Melbourne will be even more exciting for you. Wink, wink.
She's coming. We already talked about it.
All right, Stacey, I guess you're sharing next.
Oh, okay. Shouldn't have spoken out. Okay, so what I got out of it is pretty much my story. So for the past year or so, I've been telling the story that is part of my story, but it's just what I think that people want to hear. So the single mum of twins that, struggling on one income and decided to do this. But really, at the end of it, it was searching through our pain and why we're actually doing this and what strived us to do it. And when Katrina stood up on stage and told her story about her struggles with her ex and him having bipolar, and had tried to commit suicide and all of that sort of stuff, it really I actually could have ugly cried, but I stopped myself. I was got to control myself here, because that's exactly the same story as me. So I think for me, what I got out of it, and you guys can do the same by just working in your workbooks. If you don't have the workbook, maybe ask one of your uplines and see if they've got it as well, and just work through that, because you know, I survived. I got out of an abusive relationship. I got out of, you know, a horrible situation, and I don't use that. And that is so a big part of my story, because I started this for one reason, and that was pretty much because I needed to earn income from, because we had none, you know, an extra income. But I knew that my relationship was over at that time that I started this, and I knew that I had to build something or find a way to earn some money so that I could be safe, so that I wasn't going to sit there and be on the benefit for the rest of my life, like my sister, like my mum. And yeah, and I didn't want to be one of those mums that had to work part-time and struggled because they couldn't get help from the benefit, and they had to be there for their kids. So that was my biggest takeaway from that. And I really loved how it all worked through. Like, we did the work to go through that. And I realized that throughout took me the whole 2 days to work that out. And at the end of it, I just kind of clicked and went, oh. So yeah, that was my takeout anyway. I really loved that.
Yeah, storytelling. It's just, you've got to figure out your story, and something that Kate is amazing with, and she always has been, is the story part. You know, these girls got up on the stage, they shared what they thought their story. One was that girl that kept saying she didn't have a sob story, and she actually ended up having a bit of a sob story in the end. But Kate just, you know, reworded and rehearted, I guess, their story.
Yeah.
And it was 100 times better. And what you've just said there, Stace, you know, there's a whole lot of things there. You'd mentioned your sister and your mum, and you've never done that before. So, and I kept saying, there's more to your story, there's more to your story, and it's coming, and it's so wonderful to hear, which is really great. And that was the other thing with the ego too. I talked about that balloon popping and why this was important, about your ego, and balancing that out with gratitude and thankful, and why you're blessed, and you know, again, back to your manifesting, is because if your ego does get that big and your self-worth gets a bit high, you forget to say things like, I love you, I miss you, I need you, I'm sorry. So they were a huge few big things. Yeah. So pride and that ego bit can get in the way sometimes for some people, and you miss those beautiful things that people need to hear and want to hear. So something I just saw there quickly in my notes, and I'm just like, I need to bring that up. So look, there's lots and lots of acronyms that I got throughout the whole weekend too, between Linda and Adam and Kira and Kate, and then also from 90 Days from Fraser and from all of them too, which are great, and we'll slowly share with you. And one is for Fraser. I don't know if he did which day he did this on, but it's IOU. So when anyone joins up his business, when they used to join up his business, he'd give them an IOU, and the I is to identify what you need to do, the O being over what you need to overcome, and the U being to understand the bigger picture. So I reckon that's a really cool little, I've got that one in big, bold writing on here. So it's really, obviously, again, it's building their story, their trust, building that relationship with them by having that IOU there. And obviously the overcome is your fears and all that crazy stuff too. So it's the journey there. So I really like that one. Many, many more that we'll share with you guys over the next few weeks. But yeah, read well, better teach. The other thing was when you're going about all this and you are staying your story and you're trying to get to the next bit, you're trying to grow your business, you just got to, especially when you're starting to manifest, you can't manage. Don't be in control. If anything, lose friggin' control. Let the car run off the road. Really, manifest what you want. Let everyone else do their manifesting and help them work on their goals. Let them work on their goals. Just make sure they're getting on training, or they're watching it played back and recording. They've got the tools there between what's being offered from Adam and Kira, Linda, myself, Jay, even Lauren, as she slowly sort of comes back or in and out as well. use those tools, and so you're just there as that person, as their sponsor, to help them with the working on their story and those basic things. And then you can keep manifesting. Don't control, don't manage, don't micro, don't do any of those things. Everything's out there for them. So just give them the right tools. Jump on this training, jump on your goal chat, check this recording out. Don't give them the link. Go into the team page, go into the virtual office, check this out, all right? Don't give them links over and over and over again either, because they're going to forget the next time, all right? Give them the tools to find things. And if you see stuff that, really worked for you, that you listened to, that you watched, that really hit something for you, share it in your team pages. All right. I'm loving that, the few promotions that have gone into our team page just recently, and I hope it's the same. I'm sure it is, Peter, for you. When someone gets that promotion, even if they're not aligned with you, they're not in your leg or they're whatever, they're a sideline, make sure you appraise the shit out of them, all right? Whether it's on their personal pages or in the team page, we're all about rewarding, appraising, lifting people up. So make sure you are firstly, congratulating your teamie or your client for jumping on this cool journey. But then when you see it pop up on people's pages or in the team page, you jump on that and give people the credit that they deserve, because this is a really cool journey, but it can be really hard work. It's not, it isn't just sign up and here's your money. All right. That's why it's so rewarding. That's why we grow, because there are challenges between, us getting from here to there. And that's why our stories are also very different. And that's why people need to hear them. Anyone else got anything they want to share from the 90 days? No? Cool. We've got our event tomorrow night. I know there's someone watching on Aussie, and I'm pretty sure there is New Zealand as well.
Yep, we've got, Charlotte told me before, we've got a Stacey.
Oh, another Stacey. That's going to be confusing. Great.
Yep. Stacey T.
Stacey T. Beautiful. What have I got over here?
Hey, Stacey. Kev said that we'll just have to start calling her Stacey Newham because you're Stacey Oldham.
What happened to Zonia?
Tell Kev I've heard all that shit before.
What is Zonia? Who was the Zonia, Stacey?
Oh, no, she's gone. She's the one that was like, no, I can't do it.
All right, cool. Awesome. And then, and then Sunday, I've got Zonia. Is that Stacey doing Sunday?
Charlotte?
No, she's doing Thursday and Thursday because Sunday nights is family dinner night. She's not home.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, that's good. So at this stage, we've got Sunday night off.
Yay!
And then Monday, obviously, we just got that extra event. And girls, that's good time for you girls in New Zealand still. It's 7 o'clock, so 9 o'clock, not too late. And I can't wait to see how they're reworking that and see what it's like. But yeah, so if there's nothing else, I'm going to let you guys go because that went a bit longer. But if you guys get a chance, go back and watch that TED video again. It's in the team page. And it's really easy to find if you need to find it. Also, Peter, I'm not sure if it's in your team page yet, but it's really, just Google it. It comes up real quick. And just keep working. If you watched it or you went to it, don't lose that momentum from game plan. All right, we are tonight's month end, so if you've still got some goals to smash them, get it done. And then tomorrow morning from the 1st of November, I'd love to see and hear what you're manifesting for November and going forward, and really, get some of those goals happening. If you put doubt in and you're not ready, you can't put those goals out. All right, because if you keep wondering why you're not getting something, you're not ready for it. All right, you've said yes to this business now, so that's already one that's ticked off. All right, so now if it, a new car or, I want to eat healthy for the next 2 weeks, manifest that every friggin' morning you wake up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat properly. I'm going to go for a 20-minute walk. All right. November, everyone's starting to think of Christmas presents. This is a Christmas present, whether it's product or opportunity. And, just get it out there. I've got call at 8. Cool. See you, Peter. Oh, she's gone anyway. And Magda, me too. See you guys. Beautiful. All right, girls, I'm going to let you go. It's the 1st. So make sure, I know Stace, we'll do yours. We'll get yours organised and then we'll start organising everyone else's goal chats.
Yep.
All
I
right.
just realised I only just qualified this month.
What? No, you weren't. You've been off mine. No, you've been done all month. You had 1,800 banked.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but yeah, it's alright. I've only got 1463.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. That's why you have to build on. This is why, I'm saying, Charlotte, get banking, 1,800 in there. You qualified a week into the month. You were done.
I know, but still.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh.
What, Charlotte?
I qualified a week into the month last month, and then there was a rollover with some customers who've pushed their orders out to past Christmas.
Yeah.
That's what's happened with me this month.
That's
but
what's
I've
happened with me.
qualified, so
That's
it's all
what
good.
it is.
And I've created more bank this month.
That's right. And your girls are with you until they're
Yeah, I had a couple of people.
So the next 2 months you want to build up your excess, and then you want to help, your girls all get to SGVF, and then you need more team and more clients to stay qualified and keep qualified. I don't know, I must be getting close to 40 months now of being qualified in a row, because it starts back at 0 as soon as you don't qualify. So my goal is just to keep that ticking on.
Yeah, totally. I just got too slack, really.
Yeah. No, you did it. Don't. That excess is.
No. I know I need to keep this mind, otherwise I won't work, and I'll be like, oh yeah, cool, okay. I need to keep that mind frame in myself. It's how I work.
That's it. You
Keeps
do,
me
like
going.
to Charlotte, you need to keep bringing on beautiful new team and clients. But yes, that's what the excess is for. All right. So
Yeah.
don't be stressing about that either. Oh, this
Yeah,